Hi guys, Chambers is here, giving you another Fable Fortune's Heroic Trials Guide, Chapter 6. Today we're doing Crimson. She's the one with all the Belverines. Again, I'll go through the deck that I used to beat this one. Go through the cards, give you my way of thinking of why I used them, a bit of an analysis, some things to think about when playing it, and to finish up, show you some gameplay that I did using this deck. Now, the thing with this one is particularly hard because you're going to get overwhelmed with a lot of enemies on there. The enemy hero ability is basically to deal 1 damage to you every turn, and it will always go for the weakest unit. Alright, so if you've got one with one health, it'll go for that one. As soon as it's destroyed, it'll put up a predatory Belverine. And you don't really want that because they are a pain in the ass, because if they actually kill a unit on your side, they will gain, or you can see it here, they'll gain 2 strength and 2 health. Not what you really want, so you got to kind of keep an eye out for those as well. A lot of units on their side, so you've got to try and control your side of the board as well, as much as you can. So ideally you kind of want a lot of low cost cards, soldiers, or units if you like, just to kind of make up the numbers, really, just to kind of, because if you've got an empty board and they've got the enemy's got loads of units on their side, you'll be taken out really quickly, and it can be quite overwhelming, especially when the alpha wolves are summoned. If you're doing really well and you're taking out a load of those, load of enemies on their side, and maybe summon the alpha wolf, that's basically 6, potentially 6 on their side, and their strength matches the amount of wolves that are on the side. So if 6 do come out, their strength will be 6, and it's pretty much game over at that point, unless you have a certain card or cards to counter that, which I'll show you in a minute. So, without further ado, let's go through the deck. Chapter 6, okay, the trophy card I use this time is Pointy Stick. Pointy Stick, quite cool for early game, because you want to kind of control the early game. Your small soldiers that come out need to kind of, you've got to bear in mind that you will be damaged by 1 every time, and so you need to at least take out their unit as well. You'll be taken out at the beginning, more than likely. So if you use your Pointy Stick, you've got a little bit of a chance to stay on the board if you're lucky, or at least get rid of their unit. Okay, so control. Ballaststone Barb, got 2 of these in there. It's always nice to have a boost, okay, especially if you've got a unit which has got 1 health. As I say, the enemy boss, or the enemy power, will be dealing damage, and it'll always be to your weakest unit. Okay, they'll be dealing 1 damage, so if you've got 1 health, you'll go straight for that one, and the predatory Belverine will be coming out. So this one's always good to kind of like just up it that little bit, to avoid that 1 attack that will kill your enemy unit. And also it's always good for a booster anyway, so you can't go wrong with this one. Ratcatcher, he's in there just as a low cost unit. There's lots of low cost units in here though. There's a 2, there's a 2, there's a 2, there's a 2. Basically because you need to get those units out there, and it's one of those situations where it depends on the cards that you're dealt as well, depends on whether you're going to do well or not. If you've got a load of spells in your hand to start with, that's not brilliant, because you need those units down. So plenty of units in the deck, low cost ones as well, so that when later on, when you've got 8 gold to spend and you've got 3 units which are worth 2, you can put all 3 of them down. Get those units out there, defend yourself. Royal Cadet, okay, when you bring him down, he will grant safeguard on a unit. Okay. Screaming Skulls, there's 2 of them in here, and there's also 2 Wild Rend. Alright, what they do is basically deal 1 damage to a unit. With Screaming Skulls, that has a last laugh. As you can see, it deals 1 damage to all units. Okay, that does deal damage to your units too, but this is ideally for when the alpha wolves come out. Like I said to you earlier on, if there's 5 wolves that come out, they'll have 5 strength. Okay, so you want to get rid of them as soon as they come out, ideally. This card is ideal. You put this card down, put Safeguard on it, the next attack will be on him, and he'll die, more than likely, because if he's the lowest unit, he'll get damaged anyway by the boss. Enemy unit will attack him, and then he'll take out all the wolves. Okay, so yeah, he will take out some of your guys as well if you're low, but it's a small price to pay for a whopping hit by a whopping amount of wolves. So as I said, Wild Rend is the same, but it costs 2, but it doesn't take any damage to yourself. Right, so that's always cool. That's also handy for another card, which I'll show you shortly. Undead Soldier, just another unit. Just get him in there. Don't need to repeat myself on that one. Just low-cost units. Get him in there. She's in there because she's a low-cost unit, and also she has quite a cool ability. Big entrance, destroy an enemy unit. A friendly unit, and draw a card. Why would you want to destroy a friendly unit? Well, you will want to. So basically, if you've got a Powerstone Bard, for example, you pop him down. He's a 1/2. He will be targeted by the enemy boss. Okay, so then his health will be down to 1. If he gets targeted again, he'll be destroyed, and then the predatory Belverine will pop out, and it's an extra card on their side. Now, before that happens, what you can do, you can pop this card down. How do you say it? Acolyte of Scorn. Pardon my pronunciation if that's wrong. Anyway, so you pop this one card down, you target that card. So that card is then destroyed. However, you draw another card, because it's always good to draw cards in this game. And the enemy team, or the enemy side, hasn't gained a Belverine. So that's why that's in there. So it can be quite beneficial to have a card that destroys your own unit. Ambush. Just a damage dealing card that will always be handy if you want to kind of get the guard off one of those pesky enemies, just to kind of get to the boss, because there will be a point you think, right, I need to get some damage done to this boss now. Okay, so there's a safeguard in the way. Let's get rid of that one. Bish bash bosh. Blood Frenzy. Now, Blood Frenzy is really cool in the right situation. Now you can actually use this one with your Screaming Skull, or ideally Wild Rend. There might be a situation where you've hardly got any cards on your side, and they've got 6 rode right up, because sometimes they have 3 units come out at one time. Now if you do actually have one of your units getting destroyed by the enemy boss, they'll have a Belverine that comes out, and you're just going to be a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of enemies on their side. So if you use Wild Rend, which does 1 damage, okay, you can take out 1 damage per unit, alright? With Blood Frenzy, draw a card for each damaged enemy. You draw 6 cards, okay? Okay, you might not be using them straight away, but you've got a nice chunk full now. You've got a nice collection in your hand to choose from. You've got more of a choice now, which makes things a lot easier in a lot of situations. Now, this doesn't work all the time. That's an ideal situation, having 6 enemies attacked, damaged in one go, and then to use the Blood Frenzy. But it does happen, and it can happen. So that's why that's in there, because you want to draw those cards out, because it can get really tricky. You want to get, if you haven't got enough units in there, some fighters or soldiers, this is a good card to use to get them out into your hand. Battlestone Guard, always good to, always at the beginning of the game as well. It sort of has Safeguard automatically. Only one of those in that one. Fierce Looter, just a soldier. Red Cap, Skull Chuck. He's just a soldier, but he kind of does a little bit of damage as well to the enemy boss. Each go does 1 damage. It's not a lot, but it a little helps, as they say. Tattooist, another soldier one, but he's quite cool because he'll boost 1 left, 1 right guy. Well, the adjacent allies, adjacent unit with +1 strength. Always nice to have. Westcliff Recruiter is one of my favourites, but not necessarily brilliant in this situation. Obviously, pop him down on any card afterwards, he'll gain strength. In an ideal situation, that'd be Ace. Just protect him, but he won't always necessarily be protected. You might boost him for 2 strength, and then might have to sacrifice him just to kind of trade with the other side. He might get killed. Don't forget, that boss ability takes down 1 health he might be victim to that. Who knows? There are certain situations, you could put down, you might think, well, why don't you put down the barman? Okay, because after this guy, because the barman then summons 2 barmaids. So therefore this guy would then be boosted for 3 on his strength. In theory that works, but unfortunately the barmaids are a 1-1, so of course then they are a target for the enemy boss, therefore summoning a Belverine, which you don't really want to do. You want to get those Belverines less of them on the board as you can, because they are quite a pain in the ass, because if you don't kill them when you try and attack them, they boost. That's precisely why there's no barman in this one, and also barman costs 6 gold, so trade that in for something that costs less, and it's less of a handful. So this one works if you get him right, but again, he's mainly more of a soldier than anything else. If you can boost him, brilliant, because he's stronger. But that's all I can say on him. He is a favourite card of mine, but not the main reason why he's in here. It's just to make up the numbers, and of course that little bit of boost. Mage Hunter, okay, Mage Hunter, okay. Mage Hunter, she's in here again because she's an awesome card to have. Later on in the game, you'll get the Diseased Belverine, which has a last laugh. Once it's dead, it will deal 3 damage to your hero, which is fine, but not ideal when a second one comes out later on, because depending on how long the game goes on for, there will be another one. And if you're quite low on health, you really don't want to take up or sacrifice 3 points of your own. So the mage, she has silence. In case you don't know what silence is, silence basically resets a card. Resets and kind of takes off whatever ability it has. So say for example, you put it on what you want it for, the Diseased Belverine. Diseased Belverine won't actually do anything once it's dead. Its last life will be gone. It also resets anything that's been boosted. So say for example you had the Belverine that's kind of got really, really powerful throughout the game because it just won't die. You can actually use a Mage Hunter on it and it will reset its strength back to its default. Likewise, that works the same with you as well. I believe there's a game, I don't know if it's one that I'll be showing, but there's a game where I used the recruiter, boosted him quite high, but the bear came out and stunned him. I needed him in the game, so I used the Mage Hunter on him, just to do a bit of damage. Unfortunately, and I knew this was going to happen, it reset his strength. So all of that kind of work, boosting him up, didn't pay off, but I needed him in that fight, so that's what I used it for. So it's a good card to have, but mainly in there for the Diseased Belverine. Okay, Highwayman's in there as a strong bruiser, another unit, soldier, or whatever you want to call it. Again, I repeat myself, lots of units, you need lots of units in this one. Low cost. I know 5 is kind of like in the middle ground, but you don't really go any higher, even though there are a couple of 6s. Mortal Wound deals 8 damage to an enemy unit. Goes without saying, really. Use that as a last resort when you really want to kind of get a guard off the unit to do some damage to the boss, or just do some damage to the boss, really, if there's no guard on anyone. Royal Officer. Your unit has 1 strength, so yeah, that boosts all the units that are on the row. So that's just basically a bit of a booster. Always good. Surge of Fangs. This is your kind of like your big guns, really. There will be a point where you might be a bit overwhelmed by a lot of enemies again on their side. Not many on your side. It does do damage to you as well, but it's good for crowd control. Basically, if you want to kind of like compromise your own kind of position, just get rid of all the enemies, knowing that it's going to get rid of you as well. Then do it. It will help out in the long run because you don't get too overwhelmed. War Dog, another bruiser. There you go, that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much how it works. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's helpful, the way of thinking behind it. It's frustrating. This game is quite frustrating because you can get overwhelmed really quickly. All I say is just stick at it. It is possible. It can be done, which I'm about to show you. Be patient, take your time, and well, there you go. So best of luck with it, and see you again soon. Take it easy. Okay.
You are coming with me.
Let's see if I can strengthen you. Should in theory stay alive. Just.
I'd be an outlaw if they'd only have me.
Do I want to? Tell you what, that's a bit of waste, but okay.
Just stop it! Stay away from me!
Everybody wants your heat.
No mage on her. Oh, there she is.
This'll get you in a muddle.
Get home.
That's fine. Whoa. 666666666666666. Bye. Is there any way?
I can open a store here and unlock.
That one?
Make it quick.
Ah, bollocks. Okay, let's do that. And then that. 2, 3, 4. And then let's go fly a kite. No. Trade. Ain't got enough. Pretty strong. Last laugh, fill your board with 1-1 hooligans. He's an 8 now, he's a low one. Thanks. See, this is a bit of a problem, because those two will all be unlocked by the time I come out. So I need to put some soldiers down.
Suppose I'll have to tidy up after as well.
Can't damage you. Okay. Clear the board.
Wish it was still in there. Wish it
Faye. No. See, that's not helpful.
Storm demands a sacrifice. Where is it?
Okay. Whatevs. Let's use you. Do waiting for that. Trade. Oh, okay, 6.
This is my latest
Okay. Should have been him. Blood frenzy. That's not what I wanted.
Albion can't have enough heroes.
Should be 3 cards. So, okay. Who are you? Oh. Ah, you can't. Okay. You. 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 What's this one? Summon a random unit from the deck. Get rid of you. Come on. Ah, yeah, bugger. There you go. Get rid. Too high. You guys are far too high. Alright.
With me.
No point in using a sticky pointy stick. because it'll be a trade-off anyway. Regardless. Okay.
Still an outlaw.
Do want to? Not yet. So I get a 3.
I need fighters.
Yeah, mage hand would be ideal for him. But that's not going to happen. Right, we need to put some people down.
Still in my socks.
Have you seen my latest?
It's fine. Gosh darn it, Alf, got it. There you go.
Sacrifice in blood.
Because he would have taken damage anyway from the hero ability. Okay, let's just do some damage. No need for safeguard. 5, 6, 7, 8. Just to be safe. Well, not even safe. Anticipation going on here. 3. You. Grab you. Let's all go. And you. Let's try that. Go it. Right, now then, I can do with you, since they're all damaged. That's the one I want. Alright, 2 of them, thank you very much. Right. Let's level it out a bit. Okay. 10. Put down some little men.
Come on our turf. Partner, open a stall down under.
Oh, there you go.
First person who's visited me all day.
And ooh, safeguard on you. That is fine. No, because he'll boost. Not really want to use that if I don't have to, but then again, he'll be dead. Someone on 1 strength. Again, deflect. Deflect. Don't forget to use that one. Okay. Ah, bollocks. Again. But that's fine, because I can...
I thought about being an outlaw, then I realised I love laws.
Let's put some damage there, 'cause I'm planning okay. Whew. Because I kind of do need to
Enough! Right, I'm fucking on.
get that down. I could have used a Royal Cadet there. Don't get too cocky.
I'll snare you like a little rabbit.
Okay. Let's get rid of it. You're a 3. Don't really want to get rid of you just yet. Okay, doing alright.
Could be better at this. I just know it.
Sort of. Get rid of you. And continue with the attack. Okay. Thanks. Can I put it on anyone else? Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Summon a random unit from your deck.
I got it well, good heat.
Thanks. Well, let's take advantage of that for a start. And then use you. Let's get rid of that. Boom. Thank you very much. Okay. For you. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna live with it.
Been stealing my socks.
Okay, it's a trade. Can't really buff it with the stick, to be be a waste of a stick.
Gotcha, you varmint.
Okay, and let's hit the stick. Again, that probably would actually, yeah, it's a waste of a stick, but oh well. So he's down back down to 4. But we would have made him stronger. Trying to keep control of the board, so I need to clear them all out. Sorry, I just need to probably a ton of them come out now. Okay,
Open a stall down a market.
That's really annoying. Okay. Really annoying. Fact. Oh, fuck it. Mage Hunter. Gosh darn it. 1, 5, 6, 7.
Thank you, come on out, sir. Suppose I'll have to tidy up after as well.
You're strong. You're so strong.
You ain't taking me alive. I should have taken
5, 6, 7, okay. Some damage. Some more damage? Oh, okay. Might as well, since morality 1, transform this unit. Okay. And here. Big entrance, deal damage to an enemy unit and its adjacent units. I can do that. I think. Right, that's good. Well, you didn't transform, how does that work? Okay. Okay.
I need fighters. Yeah!
Okay. Fine, I get the idea. Can't put you down here because you're not.
I thought about being an outlaw. Then I realised I love laws.
Good. So you need to use that hero power first to get him down a point so that one can take him out without him healing. It's all so stressful. Right. 13. And you. And you. Theory is dead. Down he goes.